one thing I have a passing interest in, but I don't really talk about videos too much, because for one, it's a very just peripheral interest that I have. It's not something that I consider myself an expert in at all, but it is something I'm a little bit interested in. And the other reason why I haven't made a video about it is it's money, okay? So just get that out there. I'm talking about money and financial planning and investing and stuff like that. Because you're always reluctant to talk about it because, there's a reason why it's just not considered polite to talk about money. If you have more money than somebody else, you don't want them to feel bad. And then sometimes you really don't want people to know how much money you have. And then the other side of it, looking at it from the opposite perspective, even though you might have a little bit of money to invest just because you're old, that's really the category I'd put myself into, I have a little bit more money than a 20-year-old because I'm old, but at the same time, I'm far from rich. So I don't want to be like that guy that's you get the impression that I think I'm rich when I'm not. I mean, I understand I'm not. I understand that there's plenty of people my age that have a ton more money than I do. So I'm not that guy either. And so all that adds up to just being reluctant to talk about money, But I've talked a little bit about, my real estate experience. And the thing was just on my mind now because I liquidated a real estate holding. Even that just sounds like pretentious. Basically, I had a piece of land and I sold it. That's it. I had a piece of land and I was trying to do a development on it, which even the word development sounds pretentious too in the case of this, because I was basically just trying to build some rental units, and it just didn't work out for me, So I ended up selling the land. I was fortunate enough that I did end up selling the land for a little bit more than I bought it for. But at any rate, so I had this cash, and at some point in the future, I might use it on real estate again, but I'm just not loving what's going on in real estate right now. And so, I basically just put it in my brokerage account. And the point of this video is basically, I for the first time in my life, I bought a single stock, which I don't do because I just don't know enough about it. I'm pretty much, when it comes to the stock market, because I'm a real estate guy mostly, but when it comes to real, stuff where I have to interact with the stock market, a 401k I have, of course, I don't work now, but my 401k that I have from before, that of course has to be in the stock market. And then I do have an IRA that I contribute to still now. And both of those, I basically just do the S&P 500 because I don't know enough about any individual company to invest in it. And I kind of to be honest with you, I kind of look down on some people that do individual stock investing because I just think they're buffoons. I think they think they know more than they know. And they're taking these big gambles, because people that do this shit for a living that are successful at it, like Warren Buffett. I mean, that guy's life is reading annual reports, and this guy, I've heard him talk about it, and he has deep insight into management teams. He knows the actual people that are managing. This guy, I think, is a competent guy that's in the management team, and this person isn't. All this information goes into his analysis of a company, and then you have these people that are just hey, well, I think electric cars are going to be big, so I bought. I put friggin' $100,000 into Tesla. I'm just sitting there hey, maybe it will, maybe that'll work out for you, but maybe it won't. I just don't know. So I'm not putting my money into something I don't know. So I'm pretty much the place where I'm really trying to like make a good return is in real estate. And in the stock market, I'm just a totally safe S&P 500 index fund kind of guy. And that's where I put most of these proceeds that I got from the land. But I did buy an individual stock just because, and again, this is really just, it was a very small percentage because, again, I still don't know anything about this company, really. However, the Nvidia thing, the AI thing, it just seems like that's going to be the thing, you know? Like that thing where you're like, why didn't I buy Microsoft? And because it turns out that you didn't even have to buy Microsoft that early. Of course, everybody's like, why didn't I buy Microsoft in like 1979 or something? But honestly, you could have still bought Microsoft in 1990. You could have even probably, I mean, I'd have to look at it, but I'd say you probably could have even bought Microsoft in 2000. And it still would have been a great idea. So I have this feeling like sometimes you think you're too late when you're not. And so that's why I decided to just buy a little bit of Nvidia, you know, take a small amount of this money I have and put it in Nvidia and see what happens, because I know that it's already like, I already missed, you know, the bottom of the wave where, you know, I could have gotten the absolute maximum return on it. But I feel like if AI is really going to be the thing, if it's going to be this revolutionary thing, then it can't possibly be too late because we're still in the infancy of AI. I mean, if Nvidia is really going to be the leader of this AI revolution, then there's still plenty of growth, like ridiculous growth left. And so I decided to take a shot at it. That's it. This is basically just a video diary type thing. I don't know if this is necessarily useful to anyone else, but this is just what's going on in my life today, so I recorded it. I mean, I'd say, even if you only have $1,000 to invest, why not just throw it on there and see what happens? You know what I mean? Because if this thing explodes the way they are saying it's going to explode, that $1,000 could be, you know, that $1,000 can end up being $10,000, you know, down the road a few years. But of course, don't do it if you need the $1,000. That should go without saying. Don't ever invest money that you're not prepared to lose, unless it's in like a, you know, treasury bill or something. But yeah, that's it. See ya.